Hi everyone, this is the first video in a 5-part mini-series on looking at how to play Motown and Soul rhythm guitar. Now this can be aimed at everyone from beginner level to pro. There'll be something for everyone. There's going to be a bunch of stuff I'm going to cover across the 5 videos. Everything from classic rhythms, classic licks, sixths, and different chord inversions. This is part number 1, and in this video we're going to be looking at classic rhythms. And as I said, if you're a beginner, there's something for you in this video, or if you're a pro guitarist and you're looking how to really master Soul and Motown guitar, there'll be something for you in this 5-part series. In this part, as I said, we're going to be covering classic rhythms. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to do it. In this video then, we're going to be covering some classic Motown guitar rhythms, but if you haven't done it already, click like to like the video, hit subscribe to subscribe to the channel, and click that alert bell so you don't miss any updates. If you want the PDF with everything I'm going to talk about in this lesson, you'll see a link below in the description, so make sure you click that link and get that free workbook. Right, in this video, we're going to learn 5 simple rhythms that will work for any Motown or Soul songs. Now, there's a bunch of different rhythms you can actually play, and if you listen to all the classic Motown and Soul stuff, there's a lot of different guitar variation, but I'm going to show you the ones which will work across the entire genre. They're kind of like get out of jail free cards for Soul and Motown rhythm, stuff I use on pro gigs all the time, and it's just basically simple variations of the same thing. And as we move through this video, we're going to start off really simply and just get a little bit more complicated, but nothing is going to be complicated at all in this video, okay? With Soul and Motown rhythm guitar, your job is to be part of the band, be part of the ensemble, and really back the singers, okay? So you're contributing to the rhythm of the entire song, not necessarily as a lead player, okay? And that's what we're going to be focusing on, I'll be talking about in this video. Okay, let's get stuck in then. Rhythm number 1 is simply going to be playing on beat 2 of the bar. We're going to do a strum or a stab or a chip or whatever you want to call it on beat 2 only. Now, often with Soul and Motown music, the snare drum of the drummer when they're playing the beat, the snare drum beats land on 2 and 4, and we're just going to be accenting beat number 2. So we're simply going to choose a chord. In this video, we're going to be based in A major, so I'm going to play an A major bar chord like this. Now, if you're familiar with the cage system, that's going to be known as the E shape, but if you're a beginner, you can just simply do the A like this, depending on how you finger it, and that's fine. But for now, I'm just going to keep it as a full bar chord. Later in the mini-series, we're going to talk about chord voicings. This is just purely based on rhythms, and we're going to do this. So if I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. It's as simple as that. That is rhythm number 1. Okay, so let me do a bit faster. Also, when you play this as it's accented the snare drum, you don't want to be too long. So you don't want to really hold a big long notes. They're kind of short. I wouldn't say they're like little staccato, like reggae sort of stuff. It's in between. Okay, so I'm not playing nice big fat notes, I'm not playing short notes, there's somewhere in between, and that's quite important for this style. So it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's rhythm number 1. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'll demonstrate this with a backing track, and this is what I'm going to do with all the rhythms. And the chord sequence we're going to use for the backing track is going to be A for 1 bar, D for 1 bar, E for 1 bar, and D for another bar, okay? So if you grab that PDF, you'll see it written out in that workbook. It's A for 4 beats for 1 bar, D for 4 beats for 1 bar, E for 4 beats, which is 1 bar, and D again for 4 beats. So A, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, and back to the beginning again. Okay, and when I demonstrate it, I'm going to be using those shapes. I'm going to be playing my A there, my D is a barcode there, and my E is a barcode there, okay? We're going to be getting into voicings in another video. This is purely based on rhythm, and this is how that first one sounds. Okay, let's move on to another rhythm then. Now, there's another option we can do very similar to this. In the last option, option 1, we played on the 2. This time we're going to play on the 4. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. We're just going to play on beat number 4. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll put a backing track on. Now, whether you can play bar chords, you can do them like this, or if not, you can do them with open positions. That's also fine. But remember, as I said in the previous example, we don't want 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're short notes. So what you can do with that, if you're playing with open chords, you can use your hand to damp the strings or take your fingers off like this. Probably easier to use this hand, your picking hand, to stop the strings like this. Okay, and as I move through the chords. Okay, so just using that hand, the picking hand, to stop the strings so the notes don't sound like this, or the chords don't sound like this. Because that's not what we want in this style. We want short-ish chord strums like that. Here it is with a backing track with me playing on beat 4. Okay, so that was another classic Motown rhythm, just playing on beat number 4. What we're going to do now, we're sort of combining number 1 and number 2, is we're going to play it on beats 2 and 4. Now, very, very often in soul and Motown music, this means you're always playing when the drummer hits the snare drum. Now, this is super, super important. Quick story about this. One of my first ever jobs as a professional guitarist was playing in a soul band. We played soul and Motown music full time, doing weddings, parties, corporate events, that sort of stuff. And when I joined the band leader said to me, all we want you to do as a guitarist is play on the 2 and the 4. Every time the drummer hits a snare drum, play your chords. And that's all I did. And it was a really great learning experience, actually, because this rhythm hack, if you see, I've got another video called the Ultimate Rhythm Guitar Hack. This works for many, many, many styles. You just, whenever the drummer plays a snare, you play a chord, okay? So you're playing, this time we're playing on the 2 and the 4. And this is probably the most well-known Motown guitar rhythm. We're just going to accent beats 2 and beat 4. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's get the backing track on. All sounds like this. Okay, as I said, that is the most classic and most well-used guitar rhythm in Motown music. So if the only thing you take from the video is that one, and that will transfer into other styles, as I said, please, please, please remember that, because it's super important, and it sounds amazing. If you're playing in a band and you really kind of lock in with the drummer and the bass player, it's a really, really good feeling and sounds great. So moving on then, they're very, very good and very universal rhythms. Often the ones where we're leaving maybe the 4th beat, or we're leaving the 2nd beat. What I mean by that is we're playing either on the 2 or the 4. They're great for like a verse of a song, and then they're playing on the 2 and the 4. Kind of works for everything. But we also need to look at some stuff where maybe the song's building and the chorus, you want a little bit of a lift from the guitar. So this is the first one of those. This is rhythm 4, and what we're going to do this time, we're going to leave the 1st beat, so we're not going to play on beat 1, but we're going to play on 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you're doing this open chords, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're not going to play the chords like that with the ringing. We are going to keep them a little bit shorter, but we're still going to accent beats 2 and 4. So the 3rd beat, 1, 2, 3, is going to be ever so slightly quieter. So all that means is you need to pick slightly harder on beats 2 and 4, or pick softer on your 3rd beat, whichever way you'd rather look at it. I normally pick harder to accent stuff and softer to make them quieter. So I'll be picking harder on 2 and 4, and 3 is going to be my regular volume. So I get this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's one way to play it, where everything's kind of fairly short. You can also do it like this, which sounds great. Same rhythm, but we're going to leave that 3rd beat a little bit longer. So we'd get 1, short, long, short. 1, short, long, short. 1, short, long, short. Still accenting on the 2 and the 4. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so same rhythm, played slightly differently, can work really, really great. When I play it with a backing track this time, I'll do the first round with all of them short, and then I'll do the one with the third beat a bit longer. So all we're doing is we're not playing on the first beat, we're playing all the others. Here it is with the backing track. Okay, so that was me playing on beats 2, 3, and 4, and I played in 2 different ways. One with all the chords a little bit shorter, and one with that third beat a little bit longer. Always remember accenting on beats 2 and 4. That's very, very important to get the nature of this Motown style. You're accenting when the drummer plays the snare drum. Moving on then, our final rhythm of this video, rhythm number 5. This is going to be where we're going to play on every single beat. Okay, so we're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're playing open chords, you can do it down there, but again, we're not going to strum them like that. We are going to keep them short. So there's 2 different ways to do this. Number 1 is play them all short, but again, we're accenting 2 and 4, so it sounds like this. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so accenting 2 and 4 is really, really important. You can also make the 1 and the 3, the first and the third beats, a little bit longer, but still accenting 2 and 4. So we could do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a little tip as well. Normally on the accented notes, I try and pluck the higher strings. So if I'm playing them as bar chords, my 2 and 4 are going to be the higher strings if doing a full bar chord. I am going to talk about chord voicings in another video. So let me just put the backing track on, and I'm going to demonstrate those 2 things. The first round, I'll do all the chords short, and the second time, I'll do beats 1 and 3 long, a bit quieter, with 2 and 4 accented shorter, and that all sounds like this. Okay, so that one is really, really good. That's one maybe I'd use in a chorus of a Motown song. So you'd use possibly one of the other rhythms for the first part. And then that one definitely has a bit more energy to it, especially when you do the long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short version. That sounds really, really good. And that's probably the one I'd favour if I had to pick between the 2, the all short or the long, short versions. But that is a really, really nice rhythm. And that is 5 classic must-know soul rhythms. Now, as you've seen in this video, we haven't really done anything particularly complicated. A lot of this is to do with the way you play it, your touch, using the accents, the quieter and or the shorter and the long notes, and the different dynamics. So that's going to be the key to looking at this, okay? Obviously, if I went through and I just played that sort of thing, it doesn't really sound very Motown. The minute you start introducing bar chords, or you can do it with open chords as well, but you really focus on the... Okay, getting that rhythm and that short thing. Remember, you can use this hand to stop the notes. If you're doing bar chords, you just can simply release the pressure. So pressure down, pressure off. Okay, so if you notice then, I'm not doing anything with this hand. This hand is just strumming all the way through. And I'm using this hand, just releasing the pressure, sort of almost bouncing it on the strings to create those short notes. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways to do that. Again, the focus of this video is really to show you some classic Motown rhythms, and generally they're not complicated. Now, of course, there's always examples where there are more complicated and more strumming with guitar stuff. I'm not getting into that in this series. This series is sort of your rhythm guitar basics for any beginners, any intermediate players, or like I said, any pro musicians just wanting to really understand how to use Motown and how to really get inside this Motown style. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video. That's part 1. Part 2 will be coming up soon. If you did enjoy the video, click like to like it, hit subscribe to subscribe to the channel, and click that alert bell so you don't miss any updates. If you want the PDF with everything I've written out, and I'll also put the backing track in as well for you to practice along to, you'll see a link below in the description. If you haven't done it already, come and check out my online guitar school, www.fretlix.com. You'll see loads of great courses, lessons included when you buy courses, and masterclasses, including one all about soul and Motown guitar. There's a bunch of different stuff, bonus features included with all the courses and lessons. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you again soon.